Hello lads and lasses and welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about day 2 of the Sela Cup, the final day, and Newcastle lifting the trophy. Get in! We're going to talk a little bit about the Fiorentina-Nice game. I only got to see the second half. I had training this morning. Couldn't get there for the first half. Managed to catch the second, and then obviously the Newcastle United game where we win. We lift the Sela trophy. All is good and right in the world. It's the second trophy we've won since the takeover. It's not a big one, but a trophy's a trophy, and I think it shows the direction we're going a little bit. Not to sound like, but I think we're heading in a good direction. I think we could actually win one this season. I think this proves that the calibre of opposition we've played, the type of opposition we played, I think shows that we could be in with something this year. Before we get into any of that though, go down below and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. While you're down there, hit that like button. We are trying to get to 300 subscribers, but by the end of the year we have 4 months to do so, and we aren't miles away. We are 71 subscribers away. So if you want to see more of this amazing content, go down there, hit that button, turn those notifications on so you know when all these amazing videos go out, because that's what we want to know. So yes, let's get into what's gone on. The gates, for a start, I think people found them a lot easier today. I didn't struggle yesterday, but I got there quite early. I got there in time for partway, like 10 minutes into the first half of the first game yesterday. Today I arrived a little bit later. It was a little bit busier, still pretty easy to do. There were no bag searches, which I was surprised from. I had to take a bag because I had to be stuff in there. So I was surprised I didn't bag search, but yeah, good for me, I guess. So yes, pretty much that's it. And it wasn't cashless. The card machines were all working. I mean, it was cashless. The card machines were all working. That's what I meant. Apart from that, we can talk about the football. As I said, I only saw the second half. The second half was a bit, compared to the first half, I can imagine the second half of the Fiorentina game was a bit boring. We did see the Nice goal. It was an alright goal, I guess. But apart from that, neither team offered a lot. I think Fiorentina was definitely the better side. Not getting a lot of attacking done, but I mean, we saw that yesterday, and then we saw that for Nice. Well, I saw that for Nice yesterday. Not sure about everyone else. But yes, the reason we're all here, Newcastle United lift the Sela Cup. Get in. I saw it from behind. I thought they might have like paraded around with the trophy a bit, but I guess it's not big enough yet. We must be winning a trophy this season to parade around with, because that's what we want to see. I want to see a little trophy parade. Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League, who knows? Could happen. It could. Small chance, but it could. And the players, I think, we're not immensely lacking depth. We could still do with a left back. Could definitely still do with a right-sided centre back. And Matt Ritchie can play winger. So we do actually have 3 right wingers, because everyone keeps forgetting about Matt Ritchie. Yeah, but I think he played well today. He played good. He looked impressive. Yes, we pressed fantastically from the off. Even Wilson pressed well for about 15-20 minutes until I guess he got bored of it. Matt Ritchie was letting him know though. He was clapping in the corner, which was good to see. Encouraging players to still press, which is what we want to be doing this season. Let's take a minute to talk about Harvey Barnes though. Harvey Barnes had a great game. First half, still catching up to speed a little bit, but that second half he really released himself. He scored the 2 goals he would usually score in a game. Those are the type of goals he will score. Pass to, first time shots, round the keeper, back post, front post, does what he wants. It was a well worked goal both times as well. It was a lovely pass from Joe Linton for the first one. That pass from Callum Wilson though was even better. Fantastic little pass there. And obviously he scored 2. Jacob Murphy as well had a fantastic game at right back. He played really well. More of an attacking right back, but still defensively solid. Did really well to get that goal as well from a Matt Ritchie free kick, which went a little bit wayward. It was a good delivery, I think. I think it's one of the better deliveries we've had so far this pre-season regarding free kicks and whatnot. Trippier hasn't been great with his deliveries. I'm sure he'll get back on that, but Matt Ritchie was something different with those deliveries. And then Jacob Murphy collects the ball on the edge of the box. He takes a touch inside, smashes it, and Pepe Reina, showing that he's old, in his 40s, like 45 or something, pings it, mins, lad, right over his head. Fantastic goal. And not long after that, actually, let's talk about this. Paul Dummett scores from a corner and it gets disallowed. That's a disgrace. I genuinely think Paul Dummett should have had that goal count. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. He gets the ball fairly from the goalkeeper to try and get it at the same time. He doesn't knock it out of his hands or anything. Not that I saw, and I was right there. I was in the corner. I could see. And then he scored. He scored. He put the ball in the net, and I got so excited. And then the referee was like, you'll not be having that. Thank you very much. Disgraceful refereeing. The referee was a bit dodgy at times as well. He was like handing out cards, loads, and then he stopped for the rest of the game. The yellow cards in the first half, then nout, absolutely nothing. Which was an interesting choice from the referee. But Paul Dummett should have scored. Should have had that ball in the net count. I would have been so happy. So happy. I would have preferred that than win the Sela Cup. That's all I'm saying. A Paul Dummett goal I would have succeeded in life if Paul scored. The Paul Dummett. Anyways, I'll not get hung up on that for now for too long. I'll come back to it later, I'm sure. Joe Linton, I feel in that first half he needed to pass a bit more. In the second half, he's shown what he could do when we give him that space, but he was being closed down in the first half quite well. He needed to ship the ball off a bit quicker. The one time he did ship the ball off, slightly too late. Neither Wilson or Barnes had the room to do anything with, because obviously Wilson ran to it and Barnes ran to it. Bit of a mess from both them. That could have led to a goal. It didn't. But Joe Linton's goal was really nice. It was good to see. We had a nice angle of it in the Leazes corner. In the east corner, kind of curved round. Don't get those sort of angles when you're setting up in level 7 in the family zone. But yes, that was a lovely, lovely goal to watch. It was a good game overall, but Villarreal didn't really pose much of a threat. I did think Paul Dummett absolutely pocketed Saul off in that first half, especially. In the second half, him and Lascelles were both created one chance for Villarreal each, and that was it the entire game. I was very impressed by those two. Those two did fantastically, and I can see that working well in cup games, for example. Those two players playing well, getting us through. Paul Dummett also nearly had the captain's armband, and then he passed it off to Dan Burn. I got excited because I thought he was going to captain the team, but no, Daniel Byrne got the armband. Distraught again. They took away his goal. They take away his captaincy. I got nothing left to live for until the next time he plays. Then I'll have that to live for, because I can be happy again. All good stuff. Now, the bit you've all been waiting for, I'm sure. The BS review. It is just the B review today. The S wasn't there. But I can't change the name of the section. The entire BS review will be back next week after the Villa game, because we'll all be there and get everyone's review. The B review, though, as I said, pressing good in the first half. Richie was good at vocal voice and clear to see how he'll be influential in the locker room. And we've heard from Lascelles that there's the group chat of all like the captain and people. Richie is one of those. He's going to be fantastic behind the scenes this season. He played well today. He didn't only, voice well to the likes of Wilson when he wasn't pressing. He played quite well. He had a nice link up with Murphy and surprisingly Sean Longstaff. I think Sean Longstaff went back to first half of the season. Sean Longstaff, he needs to kick on, hit that second half of the season, Sean. And and then he'll... But, I mean, it's his first game back since injury, so can't be overly mad at him, but I am just a little bit disappointed in what he brought to the team. Defending was solid, and it resulted in not too many chances for the opposition. As I said, Villarreal, not very attacking. Paul Dummett absolutely pocketed Sirloth. You know what I'm saying. Barnes looks good dribbling when unchallenged and can get us up the pitch. Completely agree. As I said, Barnes, not a dribbling winger. I don't mean he can't dribble with the ball at his feet. I mean he can't create something from the dribble, whereas Gordon can try and put a move on someone. Isak, amazing on the dribble. Fantastic. One of the best players we have at the club on the dribble. Just gets the ball at his feet, can work his way around players. Barnes not that person. He needs that pass, so we need someone up with him. And he doesn't have that connection with anyone yet. So I don't expect him to start in the Premier League. I do expect Gordon to start. But if he does start, then I think his link-up with Isak would be fantastic. I think they would benefit from playing with each other. Only concern is senior players need to trust the younger players with the ball instead of losing it cheaply looking for another senior player. Now, this happened a couple of times. The likes of Bruno, the likes of Byrne wouldn't give it to the younger players. We would kind of try and play without them. You would expect it to happen, not as much chemistry, but those players could have been introduced into the game a little bit more. And then another note from me quickly. The academy players all running after the game as well. Obviously not getting as much game time. We're trying to make it like a game-specific game. Like a Premier League game where you're not going to be making substitutes early on. Try to make it like that. So the academy doing that extra bit of fitness. Really good to see that that's what we're doing now. And the attacking display in the second half was very pleasing and a good sign of the season to come. It is Barnes. I genuinely think we'll get 20 goals this season, whether it's in all competitions or just in the Premier League. I do think that. I said this on Twitter. If you want to hear more of the papa say, go to Twitter. I tweet there a little too often. Not that often, but too often for what I should be tweeting. I do think Barnes is going to get 20 goals this year. Whether he kicks on late or does it from early on, not sure. He will get 20 goals. So that is everything. That's the end of the BS section. That is all. Absolutely raging about Paul Dummett still. I'm raging about my camera actually because I tried to get a picture of Paul Dummett and it was blurry as anything. And I don't know why. Clearly not a photographer. Right, so I was just editing this. And then I realised I forgot to give out my man of the match. I also don't know why. I don't know if the camera looks awful, but on my screen it looks awful. So if it does look awful, I do apologise. I forgot to give out my man of the match. So my man of the match is Harvey Barnes. He netted a brace. He played very well in the press the entire time. Pick up Harvey Barnes. Have yourself an animated crown. I also sat near Adam P. I was near him. I was in like touching distance at one point. And then I saw him recording his video with a guy who looks like a person I used to go to school with. Don't know who he is, but he does TikTok. That's all I know. But yes, that's everything. That's now everything. Not sure what I'll upload tomorrow. But I'm sure I'll find something. I might do my Premier League prediction, because I still need to do that. I haven't done it yet. But apart from that, that is everything for today. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, and you aren't subscribed, because 90% of the people who watched my last video were not subscribed. So if you want to help change that, if you want to help us hit 200 subscribers by the end of the year, go down below, hit that button, hit the like button, notifications, all that jazz. Lovely. That's all. In a bit, pal.